Shouldn't we? So this webinar today is about my retreat, actually. There were a number of people booked on. Hopefully they'll join us or they'll get the recording. So that's what I specifically am going to talk about. So I'm going to start talking about that now. Really good. Thanks so much for being on, Paul, and so much for connecting. And I'll get your DM and I'll give you a call after this. So I'm going to start by sharing why I created the Happinista retreat. A few years ago now, I was called on by Nivea, the skincare brand, to be part of some research they were doing. So the research was to study women 18 to 30 and to understand their attitudes to celebrity, to career, to work, to education, to relationships. And we interviewed, or surveyed, I should say, 2,700 women. And out of that, we got some really interesting insights. Things like, actually, the career ladder is no longer appropriate. You can take the escalator or you can take the lift and jump up quite a few floors in one go. By using things like social media and YouTube, you can become a global sensation in the way that you would never have been able to before. Also, that women were not keen on labels anymore, that labels weren't that important. Things like wife or mother, that women didn't want to be defined and constrained by labels, and they wanted to maybe even invent their own labels. In addition, one of the things that came out was that actually women were more confident than ever before, and I named this group of women Happinistas. Women who make things happen in their own unique way. And I thought, wow, actually, this group of women, there's so much to learn from this study. And it seemed like it was going to just be, another study, put in a pile, put in a drawer, and we weren't going to be able to take the lessons. So I thought, the lessons from this study, what could I do with it? And I created an online program called the Happinista Project. I think someone else has just joined me there, not sure who it is. Do say hello when you join, just so I know who it is. It would be great to know who's listening, who's watching, give you a shout out. And thank you for taking time out today to join me as well. So, so I created the Happinista Project, and it's an online program. And what it is weekly videos. You watch a video a week, and you also have a worksheet to work through, to reflect upon, and also to take action. Alongside that is an online a Facebook group, a secret Facebook group. So it's only people who are part of the online program who are able to join the Facebook group. So we're a very tight-knit group. And we also have once a month a online call via Zoom, just so we can connect in with each other. And it has a theme a month. This month's theme is courage. Anyway, I had this wonderful cohort of women, of Happinistas, making things happen in their own unique way. And I said, what next? What else would you want from me? Do you want coaching? Do you want a conference? Do you want workshops? And they said, we want a retreat, actually. We want to go away 2 days and be immersed in just thinking about us, in thinking about our goals, our dreams, reconnecting with what's important to us, having some rest and relaxation, and also sisterhood. This, actually just being together and supporting each other. And I think it's a really interesting thing. I know that as a woman, actually getting groups of women together is often only a hen night or something like that, when you actually think, gosh, we're all women together, we get each other, we're having an amazing time. But it's different on a retreat, obviously. Hi Heather, lovely to see you. Thanks very much for joining. Great to see you. Paul's also with us, and we'll see who else joins us. So I was just sharing actually what why I created the Happinista retreat, and it was really from a study through Nivea, alongside Nivea, that I defined the name Happinistas, groups of women who make things happen in their own unique way. And then I asked the group of women who were making things happen what more they wanted, and they said a retreat would be ideal. So over the last year, coming on to the second year, last year, so I ran one retreat, then 2 further retreats, and now we're on to our 4th retreat. And I thought specifically about women who find it hard to get away. I know as a mum, but also, people have caring responsibilities and commitments. It can be really hard to get away for a night and a whole 2 days to focus on you. And so what we've decided to do now is create just a 1-day retreat, a 1-day focused on your goals, your dreams, reconnecting with yourself, and also having some me time. And that retreat is going to take place on the 9th of June this year. It's at the location that we've used the whole time. It's called Downhall Country House Hotel, and it's in Essex. And it's a gorgeous location. It's surrounded by green. It's surrounded by beautiful grounds and a forest. So there's the sort of, tended grounds, which are absolutely gorgeous. But then there are also trees and places to kind of lose yourself if you want. Inside there's a spa, a steam room and sauna and swimming pool, but also you can have beauty treatments if you want to. And there's fireplaces, although we probably won't be using the fireplaces in June. Hopefully we won't need that. But also nooks and crannies where you can sort of snuggle up on sofas in a corner or sit and look by a window out at the beautiful grounds while still being warm, to kind of hide away and think and take some time out for yourself. So we chose this location, and every retreat so far has been at that location, and people have loved it. The bedrooms, the service, and actually the food is absolutely delicious. I don't know if they have Michelin stars, but it is at that standard where you look at your food and you think, oh, I don't know if I should eat it because it looks so beautiful. And it also tastes lovely. And it's not just pretentious, deconstructed apple pie and that sort of thing. It actually absolutely tastes delicious, and they're so good at helping with dietary requirements. If you're vegan or gluten-free or whatever, they really assist you. And actually a lot of the food, for example the vegetables, are grown there, so they've got a really good footprint in terms of where they're getting their food from. So the location is gorgeous, really easy to get to by plane actually, because it's near Stansted Airport, but also easy with transport in terms of trains from London, if that's where you're coming from, and close to the motorway, because that's how I get there. So I wanted to run you through the day, and this particular retreat is called Renew and Reimagine. Because I think one of the first things we need to do is renew ourselves. We give so much of ourselves, whether that's to our career, whether that's to a business we have, whether that's to family, friends, for example, or the caring responsibilities we may have, or perhaps even hobbies. They take a lot out of us, and when we're giving and giving and giving, sometimes there's nothing left for ourselves. And when that's the case, then we're not able to help other people. I always draw back to what they say on an aeroplane. If you've got a young child beside you or someone who needs your help, you put your gas mask on first, don't you, to make sure that you're able to help them. And I think sometimes we get to a place where we're running out of gas and we're not able to support those around us, or think clearly, or do what it is we really need to do to be effective in our business or in our lives. So it's about renewing first of all. And I see renewing as not just that, I need to take some time out and relax and feel good, but I also need to actually reconnect with myself. I don't know about you, but people are always telling me what I should be doing. This is what you should do next. This is what you could do, or this is how much money you can make. And the fact is, actually, you need to always keep connecting in with your values and what's important to you before you do that. And so it gives you that opportunity to think what's important to me, so that I can define my own path, not let someone else do that for me. So that's part of what we'll be doing. So I'm just going to quickly move you slightly so I can look at my agenda and make sure I'm talking you through the day effectively. So the first session is really focusing on overcoming our limiting beliefs, our obstacles and our fears, what's holding us back from that real stretch that we might want to do in our lives. And we all have these voices, that in our head, these little gremlins. And if you say you don't have those voices, it's the voice in your head telling you don't have those voices. So you do have them. We all have them. Those voices that are saying, I'm not smart enough, pretty enough, clever enough, fit enough to do the thing that I need to do. And we spend, a bit of the morning, first of all, just really actually thinking about how we're going to overcome those obstacles, those beliefs about ourselves, because they really are, quite challenging. And if they're there, they sabotage all the good work we do. We find ourselves holding back at the most important moment. We find ourselves not reaching out with our business card at that networking event, or we find ourselves making an excuse when we're asked to be on the radio or TV because we're just not ready. And so we start with the idea of how do we overcome those limiting beliefs. And as a coach, I have quite a lot of psychological theories I can draw on and help you put into action to work on that so you're ready. Because I think almost when we're thinking about taking action, what we need to do is think about what might get in the way first, so that we're ready when those walls come up to bash them down, so that they're not in the way. And then what I'm going to do after we've worked through actually overcoming our limiting beliefs, I'm going to introduce you to some tools. And I see people as kind of in different rooms in their lives. Some people really want to focus on their business. Other people want to focus on their health and well-being. Someone else might want to focus a bit more on their relationship. And so I'm going to give you tools to work on the area of your life that you want to work on. And once you've been introduced to these tools, how they're helpful and what they can do for you, you're going to go away with this pack, this toolkit, and have a date with yourself. So we'll have lunch, and then from 1:30 to 3:45, you'll have this date with yourself. Now, the date could be as simple as holding a question in your mind. Based on what we'd gone through in the morning, you might want to think, well, what's my vision for the future? And you might want to go and use the spa and have a swim or go for a walk to explore that. But alternatively, you might want to take your pack and sit and just work through some of the exercises to help you think through what would be really good for you. Or you might want to just go and sit and have a coffee and just enjoy the afternoon and have some much needed me time, switching off your mobile phone and taking away all of those distractions. So how you use the date with yourself is up to you. You can have 2 hours and 15 minutes just to relax. You can have 2 hours and 15 minutes to focus on an area of your life that you find challenging. Yeah. So whatever you decide to do is up to you, but you will have a toolkit of approaches that you can use, particularly if you have something thorny that you want to work on. But you can also take those away with you. So you might say, you know what, I can work through these, on Monday or another day, but I might not get this time to myself back to use in this way again. So this is what I'm going to use it for. So it's really up to you how you use that time. At 3:45, we'll come back together, and the final session is about enabling commitments to yourself. I'm a real stickler, a real fan of public declaration. So it will be about helping you to fine-tune your goals, whatever they're about. Think about how you're going to embody them and live them on a daily basis, and then for you to actually publicly declare it and let the rest of the group know, so we can help you, we can supportively challenge you and hold you to account to make that happen. And then we'll depart about 6 p.m. So it's a full day, but also a day that has time in it for you, which I think is so key. And also, I'd say it's a self-directed day. I'm not going to say you must do A, B, and C in order to get what you need in life. I'm going to guide you through a process in which you will choose what is right for you. So that's how we'll be working together. I think we lost you for a bit, Heather, and I talked through the full programme then, but you will be able to actually re-watch this in the future. So I'm sorry if you're having a bit of a difficult connection there. So I'm just going to have a look at my bit of paper to see if there was anything that I missed out. As I said, it's on the 9th of June. It's an early start, 9 till 6. So if you did want to stay overnight at the hotel, on the website is our booking details, and it gives you the telephone number for the hotel if you wanted to book an overnight stay. Some of the people who've booked already have booked in advance the night before and also the night of the retreat. So they've made a weekend of it, and they've also invited a partner along. That's completely up to you. But you might want to take advantage of the fact that it's a lovely hotel and make a week of it. Oh, great that you're still there, Heather. So Heather, do you have any questions? The big question I had on the group, on the event, was actually, do I get some me time? The answer is yeah, you get 2.25 hours of time solely to yourself. We will have breaks and we will have an hour's lunch as well. You could also come the night before and use the facilities, and you could also stay after the retreat at 6 o'clock and use the facilities if you wish to. So there will be that opportunity. So do you have any questions, Heather? I'm glad you're still there and you haven't been cut off. I'll give you a minute in case you're typing away. And just in case you're wondering about numbers, typically there are sort of 8 to 14 women on our retreats. That's the typical number of who attends. And in terms of what do they do? We've had women who work in corporate organisations and also women who run their own businesses. So it's sort of equal, I'd say maybe 60-40. 60 women in business, 60% women in business, and about 40% women who work in organisations. All sorts of roles in organisations, from HR to sort of management and leadership roles, and women who run various businesses, all different sorts. We've also had some academics attend, so people who work in universities as well. Our Happinista group, as you may have noticed, is a really wide-ranging group of diverse women. And that's how I like it. I don't like to say, well, it's only for a certain type of woman. We all need time out. We all are capable of making things happen our way. And I like the fact that it's a self-selecting group. I think the people who are attracted to the tribe are just amazing women, and that means we really do bond, we really do support each other. They're all women who've bought into the ethos of what it means to be a Happinista. Okay, great. I'm glad it sounds clear, Heather, and that you don't have any questions. Okay, so I'm just trying to think. One thing I haven't mentioned is the price. So until the 31st of March, the price is only $249. For that $249, you get the full day from 9 till 6 p.m. You get all the refreshments and you get full lunch. The lunch is usually a 3-course lunch. We sit down for lunch. The breaks, you'll have cakes or biscuits handmade on site with tea and coffee and soft drinks. There will be nothing else you need to spend on. So you won't come along and then I suddenly say, oh, there's £50 for this part of the day or anything like that. That's really not what we're about. There are accountability groups that carry on after the retreat, and I will let you know about that on the final day. They are optional and they're not something, there will be no hard sell. The people who join them love it and they find them really useful, but people engage in the way that they want to. So it's $249 up until the 31st of March, so that's really coming up very quickly, and then after that the price will go up to $349. I'm glad you like the fact that it's a self-selecting group, Heather. Yes, yeah, it's not about... I think if you say one type of person, I think that's really difficult. I think we're defined by so much more than our job title or the role we do. And I think the combination, that idea of fertilizing each other's minds with different ways of thinking is sometimes the most powerful thing. So, sometimes what women say is, someone asked me a question, a naive question, because they don't come from my background, or they don't come from, where I'm coming from in terms of my role. And that sparked an idea in me that's helped me move forward hugely. And sometimes it's not just an idea, it's a kind of challenge, but a really a gentle challenge to you to kind of think, well, yeah, they're right. Why am I doing that? Or, yeah, why haven't I thought of that? Why haven't, and it just helps you think things through. All the women who go to the retreats really do bond, and then they send me pictures of themselves doing things like having afternoon teas or going to the spa together to make me very jealous. I always ask, why haven't I been invited? But they do, and whether they just bond with a couple of people or whether the whole group does something, that all depends sometimes on geography. The thing about the accountability groups that come afterwards is that actually because we have them on Zoom, they can be quite geographically dispersed, and that's a really nice thing. I think that brings people together, and stops it being limited to only being London or Scotland or Barbados, where one of our Happinistas is based, for example. So that makes it a really good group of people who are able to draw on each other's experience and not be limited by location. I think I've answered kind of all the questions that I had received. I think you can tell by looking at me that I absolutely love the retreats. They're really good for me too. I create interventions that are what I need. And when I created the retreat, I thought, what would I like to attend? What would be really useful for me? As a busy woman with lots of commitments, how could I get the time out and feel justified to do that? How can I have the space, but also feel that I come away inspired in a practical way? So it's not just a yoga retreat, for example, which is amazing. I think yoga is fabulous, but you might not have a real action plan when you come away. With this retreat, you do. And it's not necessarily focused on religion. So, because I have been to spiritual retreats and they're focused on, God or whoever, whatever the universe's intervention in your life, however you define that. Which that's a self-selecting group again. It's much more, I would say, it's a very inclusive group. And I define everything I do as very inclusive. I don't want to exclude. I want to include those people who feel that this is a really good place for them. There's these people who feel that they could belong in this group, and the people who want to contribute to it by supporting other women. So let's just see if there are any other questions. I can't see any others coming through at the moment. Let's just see if there's anything that I have missed out. No, I think that's probably it. We have lots of links. Okay, someone's just joined. We have quite a lot of links on YouTube, and you may have seen them anyway, of videos. So we have a video which sort of summarises my ethos for the retreat. We have videos, testimonials from those who've attended the retreat as well, and also just what they've gone on to do. It's really nice. On our secret Facebook group, people share how they're getting on, and they do reach their goals and often surpass them, whether that's around things like writing books or writing articles or committing to writing blogs, whether that's around selling houses or taking their business to the next level. Sometimes it's kind of much bigger than that. It's I want to make a difference in the world. How am I going to make that difference in the world? And helping them to do so. Hi, Melanie. Okay, you're going to watch my answers in the replay. Had trouble getting here. Oh, that's a shame that you had trouble getting here. I did answer your question because I think you posted the question, Melanie, which was, will I actually get some time to myself? Hi, Hummingbird. Sam, Samantha, how are you? It's really lovely. I haven't seen you for ages, so thanks for joining. So, Melanie, your question was, will I get some time to myself? And the answer is that there will be 2 breaks and there'll be probably about 15 minutes. There'll be an hour's lunch break, but we will be having a sit-down 3-course meal. Then in the afternoon, from 1:30 to 3:45, that will be completely self-directed. Okay, so in that space you can do whatever you want. I'm going to give you a pack of tools, and these tools will help you think about the different aspects of your life. So whether you want to focus on business, or relationships, or health and well-being, and I'm going to give you a pack with things to do. But you don't have to do those things. So they are, if you want to do them, you can sit in a lovely nook or cranny within the hotel and work through them. Or you can say, I'm just going to take some time out and walk in nature. The grounds are huge, so you could go for a lovely walk. There's also a forest there. Or you could say, you know what, I could do with a swim and a sauna and a steam. You can do that. Or you could book a beauty treatment, which you would need to do in advance, and have a wonderful massage. So it's your choice how to have the date that you need with yourself. I will give you some things to stimulate your thinking. I will give you some things to do if you want to do them. But I encourage you also to do what you need to do, whatever that is for you. What did you say? So I'm just looking at what Samantha said. Hello, I'm good. Lovely to see your beautiful face. And I wish I could see your beautiful face, but I know it is beautiful. So it's been so wonderful to see the great things that you've been doing. So I did talk through the whole day, and I guess you can watch it back, Melanie. I talked about the ethos and why I created it. I talked about what we're going to do during the day. I talked about when it is on the 9th of June, a Saturday. I talked about the fact that some people are booking in the night before or staying the night of the retreat at the hotel, and you're welcome to do so, and the telephone number is on the website. I also talked about the fact that we have an early bird offer, and the early bird offer is finishing on the 31st of March, so in just a few days, and that offer means that it's just $249 if you book by the 31st of March, and with that offer you also get a one-to-one telephone or Skype session with me after the retreat, so you can do some one-to-one action planning with me. And a 1 hour session with me on an ad hoc basis is £250, so you're already on winning. You're getting a whole retreat and then some time with me as well, so it's a really good deal there. I really want as many women as possible to come to the retreat. I think I've priced it at a point which is doable, and you can, the booking by the 31st means it doesn't mean paying for it all. You pay your deposit, and you have to pay the second instalment. You pay a deposit of £100, and you have to pay the second instalment by the 1st of May. So you do have time to pay for it if you're thinking about budgeting at the moment. I was also saying that I just absolutely love these retreats. I've created something that I would love to go to. I've created something that I think will really best benefit busy women. I think one of the things people always wonder, who else will be there? Will they like me? Will it be like school? Will it be cliquey and I won't fit in? Everyone comes on their own, and they don't know each other. They may have seen, I connect everyone in our secret Facebook group in advance, so you may have seen a photo, but that doesn't tell you everything. So actually, we make sure that people get to know each other and have some time to speak to each other. But the happiness to ethos is about women supporting women, and the women who come along subscribe to those values. And so we've never had a problem, because the women who self-select to be part of the Happinista tribe are women who really get it, and they know that we rise by lifting others, and that's so actually that we'll all succeed if we help each other to do so. Thank you for saying it's an excellent price, Heather. Yeah, I try, as I said, to be inclusive, and as a result, I try not to, it's not all about the money. It's about covering my costs and making sure that everyone, as many people as possible, can engage. So it's 12:30 now. If you have any last questions, let me know. It's just really great to see you. Thank you to Paul, thank you to Melanie, thank you to Heather, thank you to Samantha for joining me, and to all the people who are going to watch this on replay too. Thank you so much. I hope you found it useful. I hope I've been able to answer your questions. But as always, if you have any questions, please do get in touch. On my YouTube channel, or if you just type in Happinista to the internet, Happinista YouTube, you'll find lots of videos, video testimonials from past attendees to the retreat, as well as videos from me about why I created the retreat, and also sort of summaries of previous retreats also. So there's lots of resources out there. But, if you want to DM me, give me a call. I'm always happy to have a conversation if you've got any further questions. And sometimes the questions are personal, so I completely understand that, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. So I want to say enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I hope to see you all on the retreat. Do get in before the 31st of March, just so you can grab a bargain. And do let other people know, because perhaps you've got a sister or a friend or a colleague who you could see could really benefit from this, but perhaps needs that prompting. Because sometimes we need permission. We just need someone to say, it's okay to take a day out. The world won't end. Everything will be all right. And I know you'll be better for it. And actually, one of the women on our last retreat, it was her sister-in-law, ex-sister-in-law, in fact, who actually prompted her to go. And she found it so beneficial. At a time in her life when she was thinking about her career and her next steps, and has a sort of son growing up, it was a really useful thing for her to do. And she hadn't been on a retreat before, and was sort of I think nervous about it, arriving in a room of people she didn't know before, but left with some friendships and left with an action plan and a bit more energy and inspiration to actually start to do some charity work was the next thing that she was going to do. So give yourself permission, give other people permission, so that in service of what we really want to do, because when we do it, we're much better, aren't we? When we look after ourselves, we're much better for other people, for our businesses, for our relationships, and actually health is wealth. So looking after ourselves means we'll be very rich as a result. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.